Welcome to week 2 of NFL game picks. We adjusted the set a little bit so we can see both of my guys here a lot better. Chris right to my left and DJ Gamble to my right. So, guys, week 1 was fun. I mean, there was a lot of good games. I know you guys couldn't see too many of them just because, you guys went on to the trip to Jacksonville to catch a game. Let's start with that one. Let's start with that game. How was that game?
Man, it was relieving as a Saints fan. I said I could relax. I thought I was in for a long season just like LSU, but my boys came through and did what they needed to do.
Chris, what were your thoughts on the game?
What we were talking about, we had a long ride home back from Jacksonville, so we got to talk about what we thought about the games a little bit. It's not what I thought the outcome would be, to be honest. Kind of, when you pay money like that, you tend to expect Aaron Rodgers to show up, but that didn't happen, and the Packers got their butts beat. And, as a Bears fan, I love to see it. Would have liked to see a little bit more of a competitive game, but it was fun. They made it seem like the Saints were actually at home. The atmosphere was fun.
Playing the music and all that good stuff. That was a fun time.
That's cool. I was pretty jealous that I wasn't able to go. I had some work to do, and then I also had some schoolwork I was behind on. So
you missed Jordan Love's debut.
Yeah, a lot of people were telling me to pretty much F off and go back to Chicago.
he got it worse than me.
Yeah, dude. It was
Chris
bad.
was wearing his Chicago Bears Khalil Mack jersey. Just to put some context to what it means. But yeah, it was pretty interesting that game. That the Packers didn't really do much. Obviously, I was watching my Dolphins during that time, and they had a pretty good win, 1-point win. It was pretty fun. What other games caught your guys' eyes?
The Eagles and Falcons. We were watching the game, getting ready for our game. We were getting ready for the Saints game, and it was 15-6 at one point, and then Philly just blew it open. And I was thinking it was a competitive game, but when I went back and saw the game recap, Philly basically dominated the whole game. So Atlanta 6 points at the time came just field goals, and it wasn't impressive. That definitely wasn't what I was expecting as far as a week 1 opener.
Yeah, I feel that.
For me, three games stand out, so I'm talking about 2 real quick, and hopefully you bring up the third one.
Okay.
Thursday and Monday night, best 2 games of the week, I think.
Arguably so, yeah. The Sunday night game.
Thursday night, Cowboys versus Bucks. Comes down to the fourth quarter, pretty much trading field goals back and forth. Bucks end up winning by 2 points on another Tom Brady last-minute drive, pretty much to win the game.
Too much time left.
Yeah, I think he left, a minute or so on the clock still?
Minute 26 is when Tom Brady.
Yeah, and then last night's game, so this is Tuesday, so last night's game was Monday. Overtime, Ravens, Raiders. I had Ravens winning this one by a long shot.
We all did.
And Raiders came to play. Derek Carr throws the last pass off his back foot as a prayer, basically.
It wasn't a prayer. He was just reacting. There was zero blitzing him. It was literally just
he
beat
had
a man.
pressure. He had pressure. That's why he threw it, stumbling and bumbling away.
If Kenyon Drake didn't pick up that block on the edge,
that might have been a fumble because they were coming in hot.
But what's his name? Humphreys is the cornerback for the Ravens. I think he bumped into
Marlon Humphrey.
One of his players, and
he gave up.
Open. Then he gave up
at
the 5.
The top of the route. Well, before then, if you look at the replay and they show the opposite angle, facing the defense,
he saw the ball coming.
When he crossed around the 15-yard line or so, he just gave up. He was like, "Well."
At that point, it's game over regardless. Okay, let's say Marlon Humphrey does tackle him, they're gonna just kick a field goal and game over because there's already sudden death. Whoever scores next wins. So. That's why
I don't know. The Raiders couldn't even get the kicker on the field at one point, so it's not for sure. But what about you, Austin?
What game were you expecting me to say? Vikings and Bengals?
No,
I think that was a pretty good game.
Yeah. I was gonna say that one too.
I was telling you guys, I'm like, don't be surprised with this Bengals team. They're pretty good, and I was shocked when they won because I was watching the entire time, and they were winning the entire time, right? And then the Vikings came back. I'm like, okay, that's it. The Vikings locked this game up. And then it comes down to the Bengals winning in overtime by a field goal, which is pretty insane. But Yeah, I liked a lot of the games. I was pretty shocked by the Bills result.
Yeah.
Definitely
They got they basically got shut out in the second half.
Titans, I thought they would put at least a better effort with all them star power that they have. Come on,
the
now.
Cardinals are just loaded.
The Cardinals came out.
What's his
guns
name?
blazing.
What's his name? The Cardinals defensive lineman had 5 sacks.
Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
he's a
gosh.
sack monster already, and then you got J.J. Watt to worry about on the other side,
For sure.
and they did that without Tyrann Mathieu in the backfield. The whole or not.
Not Tyrann
Yeah,
Mathieu. He's
I'm
on the
tripping.
Chiefs.
I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
he's tripping. Yeah.
Okay, and then let's talk about this last game. The Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all picked the Jaguars, thinking they were gonna get a win in their first game. Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, and kind of what I expected. I mean, like I picked the Jags because you guys kind of like convinced me. Like, okay, let's go with Trevor Lawrence. Like he's pretty legit. Obviously, he's a
Never
rookie.
lost a game. High
Yeah,
school or
I know
college.
this is his first ever regular season loss. But now that's what happens when you play like a team full of veterans. You have Tyrod Taylor, who looked legit, by the way. He looked pretty good, but it's a Jaguar, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. This first week overreaction type stuff, but I believe Tyrod Taylor is going to be a good spot there with the Texans.
Yeah, and Jacksonville will probably be bottom 5 defense.
So I told you,
So
5 wins, no more, no less. 5 wins.
That's it.
All right.
Budget
Trevor Lawrence threw 3 picks, I think. We
Mm-hmm.
were watching that game a little bit too. Like that one was like kind of off in the distance, so I was keeping my eye on it.
It started out promising. All of Jacksonville had so much energy up until the end of the first
Yeah, because
quarter.
you guys were watching it like at a bar there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have started Marvin Jones. Just saying, definitely should have started Marvin Jones. I wanted to, and everyone was like, "No, don't start Marvin Jones. Robert Woods will have more point." Should have taken my own advice, bro. Play Marvin Jones.
A little side note: I traded Kareem Hunt. I traded for Kareem Hunt with Cooper Kupp. Instantly
That's not
feel
a
like
bad-
I'm.
That's not a bad trade. It's kind of Kareem Hunt, yeah, maybe. a
My
little bit.
Cooper Cup trade last year is the reason why I lost my big money league.
Oh man,
Yeah.
X Factor already, right?
All right. Well, let's give a shout out to NFL Game Picker.
NFL Game Picker.
NFL Game Picker. You can sign up for free at NFLGamePicker.com today and pick every game every week with your friends, family, or coworkers.
Whoever.
Yeah, that's what me, Chris, and DJ do. And alongside with the owner, Steve Opilo. We got Matt, we got Hank, we got Eddie. We got all the guys in the league, and we're having fun. There's bragging rights. So let's transition that into who's the leader of the league right now. DJ, you want to start us off?
Who that?
Well,
Who that?
Who that?
you know, who
Up
that?
top that leaderboard.
That's probably why
You
he's
know.
on top. I think he's the only one who picked the Saints.
I don't like to toot my own horn, but hey, it's just that little itch, the gamble itch. So
It literally is a reason.
gamble.
You're the only one who picked the Saints, and
Hey.
you're the one that's leading by at
I'm
least
a
one.
logical picker,
Yeah. That's cool.
Steve falling a little bit behind.
Yeah,
Shout out
Steve is 6-10.
Sorry, bro.
Rookie of the
Bryce,
year.
next time
mention.
you gotta put in your picks. Chris 8-8, Matt 9-7, Eddie 9-7, myself 9-7 as well. And then DJ, Mr. Gamble, is on top 10-6.
For now.
Rookie of the year.
Beginner's
You
luck.
crowned yourself MVP already, dog? Come on. But yeah, it's fun. This is what it's all about: picking games and talking smack, even if it's not even about your teams. So,
Speaking of which,
what's up?
let's pick some games.
Yes, sir. All right. So first of the week, we have Thursday Night Football. The New York Giants at the Washington Football Team. Both teams are 0-1. Giants lost to Denver last week, and Washington lost Ryan Fitzpatrick, which I think is probably the biggest part of why they lost last week. But I think Taylor Heineke can help this team because he did good in the playoffs.
Nah.
He almost knocked out the Bucs. Come on, the eventual Super Bowl champion.
Hopefully they can pick up Cam or something like that. Or trade for Nick Foles.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a big paycheck that I would have to do too.
Worth
but
it. Trust me.
It would be a decent move for them. So I think one of those two quarterbacks are on the radar for the Washington Football Team. Would they become this instant starter, or they're going to be, just a placement plan just in case Heineke gets hurt too? That is uncertain. But yeah, the G-Men didn't look good last week. I expect them to have a better performance on Thursday Night Football, but Washington, I mean, like we said last week, that front seven is insane.
Yeah, I mean, they still have Kyle Allen. which I think is a better option than Heineke. But that's just me.
He didn't do bad for Carolina when he subbed in for them.
So I don't really know why Heineke is number 2. I guess they have their reasons, but I am gonna take Washington football team. I just think they're an overall better team. Hopefully that front line contains Saquon and I can get back up top where I belong.
Same. I'm picking the football team as well. The Giants scored 13 points, and the last touchdown they scored was almost like a gimme touchdown. So it doesn't really equate to anything. And then you're putting up points against that. You're trying to put up points against that front seven that you just mentioned and that we all were highly of going into the season. So,
and let's not forget, last week the Washington football team played a Chargers team that I would say is close to the level, like similar. They're at similar paces right now, and they did it without their starting quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick being hurt most of the game. So, and it was like a close game. It was like a 3-point, 6-point game at the end of the game. So definitely, like, they have a good team behind them.
Also, like, if you look at last game compared to this game, Saquon had less rushing yards than Daniel Jones against Denver. And now they're going against Washington, top 5 defense in NFL.
Not going to get your feet back against that front seven.
No, so.
All right, so we're all picking Washington here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, now we get the first Sunday game, my game of the week. The Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. And you already know who I'm going with, Dolphins. Got to rep the squad. They got a big win against the Patriots last week, and the Bills basically they basically shit the bed last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Jeez, all right.
They did, man. They were doing so good in the first half. Second half, they just collapsed. I don't know what happened to them. It's going to be a close game. That's the least I can say.
That's all the more reason I'm picking Buffalo in a bounce-back win in their first win of the season.
It's reasonable.
They took the season series, or they won both games against you guys last year. You guys put up a better fight in the first game, I'm not mistaken. But the second
don't even
game,
talk about the second game. No,
so
we don't talk about that.
I'm picking Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking Buffalo. It is concerning that Buffalo gave up a 10-0 lead. What's more concerning to me than that is the fact that Eddie took Buffalo here too, man. What a fake fan, bro.
I mean, last year Eddie was.
He's a realistic fan. He's trying to get on top of the rankings.
Yeah, Eddie was realistic about it last year too. Like when we were picking the divisional winners, he said Buffalo. So,
yeah,
like I'm not gonna say he's against the Dolphins so much. He's just probably being realistic. I'm just picking this one out of my heart, like how DJ picked the Saints. Because realistically, DJ, would you have picked the Saints if it had not been for your heart before leading up to last game?
Did I pick the Saints to win the division? No. Even though we got to we are the reigning division champs. I truly believe that we were gonna win the game, and the play of the defense definitely helped with a new spark running game. Mm-hmm. So, well, not new spark, but they were very efficient in the running game. So,
also real quick before we go to a better game than this one, before we get to bear down, Josh Allen was like 30 for 51 passing yards.
He did not have a good game.
Why are you throwing it 50 times a game?
But Zach Moss was out.
I don't expect. Well, Devin Singletary was still there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, a decent game. 11 carries for 72 yards. Why not run it 4 or 5 more times? But anyways, I don't expect that to happen again. Yeah. I think Josh Allen will have an MVP type season, like I mentioned last week. So I think they have a bounce back win over Miami.
I think it's gonna be close. Like it's gonna really come down to either which defense can be better or who's gonna have the ball last. It's really gonna be one of those type of games. That's how it always is with like all these AFC East teams. Like even the Jets every year, the Dolphins find themselves in a close game with the Jets.
Divisional games tend to be a lot more closer than
play those guys twice a week, twice a year.
If Chris has the ball last, I mean,
Chris,
Austin,
what's
next? Game of the week, baby. Bengals and Bears.
The Cincinnati Bengals go to Soldier Field to face the Chicago Bears. Chris.
Back at home. We're about to show the world what's up.
Okay.
Well,
1 o'clock.
Don't let Van Jefferson deep ball go over your head.
1
and
o'clock.
Don't touch him when he's down.
1 o'clock. We were a little grouchy, I would say. We had a little postseason sleepiness a little bit, but
Can you believe this?
we're coming back next week. We're ready to show the world that, Chicago is the best team in this division, clearly, after Green Bay got smoked.
Nobody won in your division.
Minnesota got outplayed, and the Lions are just...
Nobody. The Lions.
the Lions just...
Hank. Let them know what's up. Hank. The
Not
Lions
even worth mentioning.
like the best team in the NFC North last week.
Hey, man.
Besides
Blind-
maybe the Vikings.
Bro,
Maybe the Vikings.
Blind
Maybe the
squirrel
Vikings.
gets a nut once in a while, you know what I'm saying? But they still didn't win, so...
They made it a lot closer.
They're also the only team in the division to never win a game in a season.
Hank, he's just shooting at you, bro.
Hey, bro, just stick with your own teams now, okay?
All right.
I'll take care of the Lions on my own.
Hank is gonna rebuild the
Anyways,
Lions brick by brick. Okay.
The Bengals are only as good as Joe Mixon is healthy. And as a Joe Mixon person that had Joe Mixon 2 years ago, 2 years in a row, he's not going to stay healthy for the whole season. So, I'm just saying.
Well, all that matters is he's healthy for week 2 against your Bears.
Yeah,
But Jamar Chase, after having a terrible preseason, had a really
he did pretty
really
good.
My
good
boy
game.
can see those stripes. Jamar Chase can see the stripes. And he's also gave me newfound confidence in the Bengals to pick them over your Bears.
Hey,
with
good luck with that.
With the run game that you mentioned of Joe Mixon, he had a pretty decent game. 29 carries, $127. It's pretty decent. And Joe Burrow he had a 128 passer rating, so he was slinging that rock around pretty good.
Our secondary was like nowhere to be found.
Oh man. And
Like, we were playing a decent team and everything like that, but
hopefully that'll put
Like,
up some room.
Stafford was throwing 40 yards down the field to people that weren't even covered.
Yeah, the wide open one to Cooper Cup.
He's from Detroit.
Why do you
coulda-
think he left Detroit, Hank? He wants to win.
Okay.
I mean, I don't blame him. Honestly, I hope he wins another Super Bowl. Not another one.
He wins a playoff game. Let's start there.
Or goes to the playoffs.
I was about to say, yeah, let's go with that one first. Let's get to the playoffs, and we'll go from
I think
there.
he's made to a wild card game once, twice.
Maybe
He's a
twice.
great
Maybe
stat
twice.
guy. 5,000-yard passer. He's
Okay.
Talent-wise, I think Stafford
Is
and
one of the better quarterbacks.
We'll talk
in the
about
league.
it in a couple picks too. But I think Stafford's the top 5 quarterback talent-wise
Yes.
in the league.
The
But
thing is, he's been on historically bad teams, but that's besides the point. Let's talk.
Who's
Let's
your
get back
pick?
to the top.
Who's your
Well, that's what I'm
pick?
trying to do. I'm trying to get back to the Cincinnati Bengals versus Chicago Bears. They're like, so I kind of have a little more faith in the Bengals than I do the Bears right now. But like Chris said, I think the Bears can have this bounce back type
At
of game.
home?
Yes, exactly. Like
Soldier
you
Field.
guys just got embarrassed on Sunday Night Football. You know,
at least
Stafford,
we have a
a guy that you
prime game. Just saying.
we do have a prime time game against who they? But yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago. I think the defense is what really seals the deal for the Bears in this game. If they can get after Joe Burrow and make him feel uncomfortable, it's definitely gonna be the difference maker. And also the Bengals, their defense not so good. Their defense is really what as a whole. They have some good pieces, but as a whole, it's not a good defense. That's another thing. Did you say you picked? You said Bengals. And Chris, obviously going with the Bears.
I'm going with the Bears.
Bears defense didn't fare too well in their first game of the season too. If we want to mention defense,
Slow start.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
there's 16 other ones left. You know, we'll be
Well,
all right.
you're playing you're playing a really like well coached team with Sean McVay in the LA Rams, and like Chris said, like arguably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in this league in Matthew
I
Stafford.
think the Rams could go to the Super Bowl.
They
honestly.
they have
they're
real
a
super.
contender.
We'll talk about
Yeah.
that in a few
Potential.
picks.
Yeah.
Couple picks later.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jaguars. You want to really go in depth about this, or you guys just want to be concise?
I just got Denver winning this one.
Okay.
Only thing is
Same
Denver
here,
has.
Denver too.
You got Denver?
Yeah.
The only thing that's like worrying me, but is Jerry Judy's out, and one of their starting quarterbacks I saw is out as well.
Melvin Gordon had quite the game against the G-Men, and I think he will have even a better game against the Jaguars. So that's a big key factor. And then don't be sleeping on my boy Teddy.
Yeah,
Two
I was
Gloves.
gonna say not only that, but Teddy looked pretty good. You saw
Decent,
that
yeah, like-
that
like-
touchdown he threw in the red zone where he
Oh.
almost got sacked, faked him out and threw it. I was like,
There was a face mask on that call.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the guy was literally about to pull off his helmet, and then he's just like, I'm gonna just throw a TD. No worries. He looked really good. I like his potential here with the Denver Broncos. So moving forward, I think Teddy Bridgewater is gonna be in a good spot with this Broncos team.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver.
All that just to pick.
All right.
Come on, bro. All right. Next, we have the Houston Texans at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns put up a good fight against the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Pretty much leading most part of the game, and then Chiefs do what Chiefs do, and they just come back and put 30 on them like it's no big deal, you know?
I mean, no, go ahead.
The Browns shot themselves in the foot that game too, and they say you need to be on your best behavior to beat the Chiefs, and the Browns were just about as good can get, minus those turnovers and errors, the mental errors, I would say. So, long story short, I'm picking the Browns in this game, but not only because of how good they looked last week, but the Texans played the Jaguars. So let's not get over.
You feel like the whole team looked good, or the running game looked good?
Well, the running game is always there. The running game is their staple. You got a two-headed dragon in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
1-2.
Jarvis Landry had a few runs.
He had
Juice.
a 5-yard rush touchdown, baby.
Juice
baby.
is a guy.
But don't you think it's a little concerning Baker didn't even throw one touchdown?
You didn't need to.
I don't need you to.
Jarvis.
That's
Win
all
us
the
a
more
game.
reason.
all these
Win us a
weapons.
game.
But that's
Win us
all
the
the
game.
more
He didn't
reason.
win the game.
Okay,
But
but
look.
I'm saying win us the game. He had them in position to win the game.
Oh,
He doesn't
man.
need to be throwing TDs. As long
That's
as the
the
team around
problem.
them is doing good.
I'm taking Cleveland, but what I'm saying,
What you
because
thinking,
Houston is trash. But what I'm saying is that I don't see the Browns going that far.
I understand.
Potentially, I think they could win the division, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But playoff success, no. I don't think you can't trust Baker as far as he could throw it. You know what I'm saying?
But just to buttle your point about it, it's like he didn't have a passing touchdown, and look how close the game was.
Exactly.
So imagine if he hits on one of those passes, or imagine if he actually
Imagine.
gets the right read. But
imagine if Patrick Mahomes had a Patrick Mahomes type game, but he
He
struggled
did.
until the second half. Bro, they had a 12-point lead until the second half, and then all of a sudden couldn't do anything.
Okay, that's the Chiefs for you.
Well,
The
that's-
defense locks up in the second half, and the freaking offense just scores after score after score.
Ask the Houston
Plus,
Texans.
I'm not sold on the play calling. I know everybody likes the coach of the Browns and everything like that. I'm
Kevin
not.
Stefanski?
Yeah, Stefanski. I'm not sold on the play calling. How are you up that much? I understand it's the Chiefs and whatnot. Like, you can pencil them in for 35 points a game normally, but how are you up that much and then you let them come all the way back? There's no game management. You're running the ball like crazy, and then all of a sudden you put the ball in Baker's hands, and what happens?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, and the end of the game, I saw I only really caught the end of the game because this was running at the same time as the Dolphins game, and all I really saw was one, Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett is a scary combo to have coming off both of the edges. That, bro, when they sandwiched Patrick Mahomes, was crazy. But yeah, I saw Baker's interception at the end of the game that really pretty much put the game in the sealed the game for them.
Right.
And it was unfortunate, but they, just like your Bears, they're gonna have a bounce back game and beat on the Texans. So
I agree. Plus, week 1, hardest matchup they'll have all season.
more than likely, yeah.
By far. The
Yeah.
only other one I saw on their schedule that I thought was competitive was Arizona Cardinals and the Bears.
Because are they playing that? Okay, it's okay. Yeah, but they're in probably one of the most the hardest division in the.
I don't know if that's gonna be true
The
this year.
AFC North is probably the hardest division in the AFC.
I don't know if that's gonna be true this
So
year,
who's gonna be tougher than the AFC North?
in my opinion.
Don't say South. I'll smack you.
All of football or
No,
in
the
the AFC
he's saying he's
North.
talking about the
AFC.
AFC.
AFC, just
AFC.
AFC North is the hardest division. You have 3 true.
The second
playoff
best is the
contenders.
AFC East. If you,
I mean,
I-
I would say maybe AFC East, but I'm
Yeah.
not sold on Mac Jones yet either. If they saw at Brady, yeah, absolutely, because you would see Buffalo, Patriots, maybe Dolphins all making the playoffs. Jets are irrelevant, so we don't want to talk about
we don't
them,
talk
but,
about the Jets over here.
But yeah, in the AFC, yeah. In all of football, no. In all of football, I give it to the NFC West still.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that's the next game pick. You got the Los Angeles Rams going to Indianapolis to play against the Colts. I got the Rams continuing their streak 2-0. Matt Stafford, as we've talked about seemingly a lot to start the show
Yeah,
already.
we talked about them a lot. So we won't do too much talking about the Rams right now. Let's talk about the Colts. The Colts faced the Seahawks last week, and it didn't look good. I mean, Carson Wentz looked like Carson Wentz. I would say, he wasn't like the Carson Wentz of late. He
Decent.
hasn't looked so good.
He's
You know?
decent.
Yeah, like he didn't look too good. And I mean, it's tough to say that when you're playing against Seattle because they kind of retooled their defense, and their defense is looking a lot
Yeah,
better.
and his
They're
last
healthy.
touch.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
healthy.
and his last touchdown kind of came in when the game was kind of over.
When the
at
game
that
was
point,
early in the
bro.
game, it was a good game, and then Seattle turned it on them, and that's pretty
I
much
mean,
it.
it was 21
Well-
and 10 at halftime.
No, but like in the first quarter, it was like
Yeah,
back and forth. It was good.
but for this one, I am going with Matt Stafford and the Rams.
Yeah.
I just think Jalen Ramsey is the best player at his position. Aaron Donald, although
Unquestionably.
I'm biased, but he has to be the best at his position.
You don't get Madden
Who-
99 for nothing.
who are you unbiased towards? 'Cause Khalil Mack's an
Khalil
edge
Mack.
rusher.
No, I'm saying I'm biased as far as I still put Khalil Mack over him.
But he's
although
not a
it's
tackle.
It's different positions.
Well,
I'm talking about
Donald plays the
Yeah.
entire D line.
But Khalil Mack is a multi-position player, so that you can't. He's the best defensive player. Khalil Mack or
pass
Yeah,
rusher.
Aaron
Yeah.
You can say
Donald
pass
is probably
rusher.
going to be the best defensive player in
He's
general.
the best
in football,
interior. He's the
maybe.
best interior alignment.
So
but-
I'm going with them. Although the only thing that worries me about the Rams is I don't think they have an A wide receiver. I think they have a lot of B's,
They got a lot of good
B
wide
pluses
receivers.
maybe, but for this game it'll be enough.
I think it's really good that they have that for the Rams because it kind of fits well with for Matt Stafford. Like he's not gonna have a Megatron. He's not gonna have Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones type stuff. It's like you spread the ball out. Like it's really like one of those type of offenses that like who's gonna go off tonight?
Yeah,
it,
but-
it makes them a nightmare for fantasy. But for in terms of who's
Yeah,
gonna
but
perform it can be
We're
anybody.
talking about regular season though, but when you get to the playoffs, he needs a number one, in my opinion.
Maybe the Rams trade for it. They've been trading for all their key pieces. Aside from Aaron Donald, they've literally traded for
They
almost
went
everybody.
to the Super Bowl with the same essential players minus, or they had Brandon Cooks was on
They
there.
had Brandon
Yeah.
Cooks. He was a big
So-
part
He
of
was
that
their
run.
number one, and then Cup was two, and Woods came on
Mhm.
later in the year.
But yeah, I'm going with the Rams as well. Let's keep it moving. Next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Raiders just came off of a crazy Monday night game, and then the Steelers came back on the Bills. I mean, it was pretty interesting, both of their matchups. And it's going to make for a good matchup between the two teams. I think the Raiders are getting better. They have a better all-around team. You saw it last night with their defense. Why are you shaking your head? No.
It's the
Why?
Raiders.
Okay. What's wrong with Chucky?
Just keep going, man. I'm listening.
What's wrong with Chucky?
Just keep going.
What's
I'm
wrong with
listening.
Chucky?
Gotta explain yourself.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Come
Me?
on. Yeah, you got to back up the
Bro,
facts.
you already took Pittsburgh. What are you talking about?
but explain. I can change my mind.
No, I mean, it's the Raiders, man. Who do they have outside of Darren Waller? Anybody? Nope.
Hunter
Okay.
Renfro, Zay Jones, the guy who 89. I forgot his name, but it's,
They
Brian
took him in like
Andrews.
the. Oh, you're talking about wide receiver?
yeah,
The one they took in the third round?
yeah, he's pretty good.
Even though they
Um,
took Ruggs in the
Henry
first, and he's
Ruggs,
going to
yeah.
be better than Ruggs.
More than
Williams.
likely.
I think Williams.
No, it's
Well,
it's
they're
Brian
talking
Andrews or
about,
something like that.
They were talking about
I'ma tell you right now.
game how Derek Carr. What's the guy you mentioned again? 7.
Zay Jones.
Yeah, he was talking about how
He's
he's
one of the
hardest
only
workers.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm talking
that's
about
something
Brian
you gotta
Edwards.
love.
There you go. That's what I said.
Long story short, though, I'm still picking the Steelers. But,
Yeah. Oh, I said Brian Andrews.
the Raiders look impressive, to say the very least, because as we mentioned earlier, we all thought it was going to be a cakewalk for the Ravens in the game, and the Raiders said, "Whoa, hold on."
Yeah, for real.
So
They had to win that game, though.
yeah,
It wasn't the first game in the new
the-
arena.
with fans, yeah.
With
Hey,
fans.
did you guys see the intro where like Steve Aoki was like
Yeah,
DJing and
yeah.
then Bruce Buffer
Bruce
was
Buffer,
introducing them? That was awesome. That was electric. Yeah, this is in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh wins. Najee Harris did not miss an offensive snap last game.
He didn't look great, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that he did good. I'm just saying he didn't miss an offensive snap. Like he played every single down for the Steelers last game. Not looking good. Especially when he didn't do much.
Yeah.
Najee Harris.
Well, you know who did do something is my boy that got that fat paycheck.
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt came in, no training camp, no
Well,
preseason.
no, he
I'm
went-
surprised he ended up playing.
Yeah, he participated, but he held it like after a certain point. He said, "Whoa, pay
Whoa.
me too."
Yeah. So he came in, had a light 2 sacks. So you know,
Yeah, he isn't Chandler
He's saying-
Jones
I was
on
about
pace
to
for
say, not
85 sacks, But no, it's
That's another side note, man. Don't you love the ridiculous stats they throw out there just after one game?
Bro, that would be insane though. If he continues and gets 5 sacks every game, that's
Man.
gonna be like unheard of.
He's getting his gold
Chandler
jacket
Jones.
midway through the season.
Yeah, we'll just put
We'll
it
put
on
you
him.
in the Hall of
Just
Fame,
put
bro.
him on.
You're in there.
But
Yeah,
yeah, going
I'm-
back to this game, TJ Watt.
taking Steelers real
Yeah.
quick.
Steelers have an insane defense. That's why I had them ranked number 1 in fantasy football because they have some guys, some dudes, some ballers on
Yeah.
that defensive side. I don't like Mika Fitzpatrick though because he's a little sorry guy.
What?
He was the
He's
reason
cool.
they.
He's a little punk.
Is that a heart? Is that a heart
Yeah,
statement?
yeah.
That's a heartfelt statement,
Yeah, it
right?
is, it is,
That
it is.
has
The
to be.
Dolphins?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
went to the. They
Before,
traded
like
for him.
because of him, I had a weak stance on Alabama players, and now like the Dolphins have like 3-4 Alabama guys on their roster, so I can't really.
He
say
also
much.
led the team in tackles. Just saying. But anyways,
Who are the Steelers?
yeah,
Yeah,
because he's good. But anyways,
because he
moving
can't
on.
stop a pass. But yeah, cool. Yeah, we're all going
Can't
Steelers,
stop
right?
a pass. Okay.
DJ, you going Steelers?
Yes, sir. I'm
Cool,
Steelers.
All right. Next, we have an AFC East matchup between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets.
The winless
Jets.
battle of the winless teams.
Yes,
Sucks,
everyone
sucks,
in the
sucks.
AFC East lost except for my Miami Dolphins, which I'm very happy about. But someone's got to win this game.
And-
Someone's gonna have to win this game. And same thing with
That's not
with-
true.
They could tie. They could tie. But really, like,
wait, what?
no, like
Wait,
I understood
wait,
you,
what?
but I'm like the Patriots are gonna win. Let's
Yeah.
keep it simple.
Keep
Mac,
it moving.
Mac Jones looked
You look
every
legit.
bit of impressive.
You look legit.
He was making the prepared throws. Like of course the highlights are only highlight what you want to see, but those highlights you were like, oh, for a rookie that looked pretty nice.
Yeah, he did really good. I mean, he with pressure all up in his face, he delivered throws. Like he's not, killing you. He's just finding open guys, finding those dead zones, and luckily enough for the Dolphins, they were able to circle back on the guys who caught the balls and like never really let them get extra yardage, which was a big reason why they ended up winning the game.
Right.
But aside from that, the Patriots look pretty good. They have obviously a solid defense.
Yep.
And then you put that on top with Mac Jones playing, I wouldn't say lights out, but he's playing pretty good for a rookie. And then
Yeah, I
Damien
wouldn't say
Harris
lights
is
out.
pretty good at running back as well. But it's also a credit to the Dolphins' run defense, which isn't that great.
Yeah, it'd be a good rookie matchup. Zach Wilson, Mac Jones. See who wins that battle. But I'm going with the Pats.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Jets win though, but I'm going with the Pats.
I would love to see the Jets win to put the Patriots down 0-2. That would be great. That would
When's
be
the
great.
last time they started 0-2? Been a minute.
I don't know. Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati or something like that. Something along those lines. DJ, you said Patriots.
Yes, sir. I got
You want
Patriots.
to elaborate or no?
Who wants?
Well, just other than what I said, the Mac Jones looked impressive, and the Patriots have a better defense on paper and on the eye test. They look better than
Yeah.
the Jets did in
For
Week
sure.
1. So you throw all that in there, I would almost say it's a gamble. It's a safe gamble bet.
Whoa.
but that's-
This
that's-
DJ's gamble of the week.
No, we
No, it's not. It's not.
yeah,
It's not. It's
no,
coming
sir.
up soon. Okay.
Real
okay.
soon actually.
I almost had a heart attack, guys. I thought DJ was about to put it all on the house on this one. But before we get to the next game, I know you're hyped about that one. Let's give a shout out to NFL Game Picker. Sign up for free at NFLGamePicker.com today and pick every game every week with your friends, family, and coworkers.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Anything else you have to say, Chris?
Take it away,
Shout out to NFL Game
DJ.
Pickers. All right, DJ. Your game of the week.
The game of the week in the gamble lock.
Oh,
The New Orleans Saints against the Carolina Panthers. The New Orleans Saints look every bit as impressive as I remember in recent memory as a Saints fan than they
How
have.
are you gonna say that, bro?
They look.
The year. Look at what you're wearing right now.
Yeah. Well,
The
my
year
man.
they get rid of Drew Brees, you're like, oh, all of a sudden, here we go. Who
Well,
that?
no, I'm not getting rid of my man.
And-
I'm gonna acknowledge what he's done for the franchise.
As
but
much as they try to keep you guys out the Super Bowl too, with all
Yeah.
them terrible
Man,
play
all
calling,
the-
and
all
this
the
is what
juju.
you want to say?
yeah,
Okay, man. Go
and this
ahead.
is
Sorry to interrupt.
yeah. You stay back and be hopeful over there, my man. But no, the Saints, they had 170 rushing yards, and we all elaborated how Jameis Winston only threw the ball 20 times. If you can 20 times in a game and you still able to
Every
control
fourth throw.
the game,
Every
four throws
four
was
throws
a
is
touchdown.
a touchdown. That's
And
insane.
That's an insane stat.
Holy crap!
The Panthers.
Dang, dude. If
I didn't
only,
even think about that, dude. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, something that Tua will never do, probably.
That's fine, bro. Famous
What?
James, baby.
I
Got that
thought
basic, and he's balling now.
I thought Taysom Hill would play more in the last game. Not gonna lie.
Honestly, he played a lot less than I've ever seen him since we picked him up. And that, I won't say cause for alarm, but it's like, whoa, hold on. You know what? Is that a sign that you have that much faith in Jameis' arm? Because Taysom Hill came in a lot with when Drew Brees was the quarterback last year. He came
He
in
come
a
in the
lot.
backfield, line
Yeah.
up on the slide,
Quarterback, running back,
tight end.
receiver, all that. He just lined up
Might
as
as
a
well
wide
punt the ball
receiver
sometimes,
last
too.
year. Or last game, he only lined up as a wide receiver. So I want to see him get a little bit more involved in
Yeah.
the game as well, too.
But I think that's also like, he's your backup QB, right? Or is it Ian Book?
No,
He's
it's
back there.
You guys
Trevor
that go-
Simeon. No, it's
Trevor Simeon?
No, not Simeon. I can't pronounce the dude's name, but
you
he's
guys let go of Ian Book? I can't believe that.
yeah. Or no, we didn't let him go.
Yeah, you have Trevor Simeon, what you talking about?
Yeah,
And you
that's
have Ian
what-
Book too.
Yeah, that's why Trevor Simeon is
But-
a backup, but
Taysom
Ian-
Hill's number 2.
Yeah.
No,
So that's-
he's listed on the Trevor Simeon is the backup listed for
looking?
the Saints. Off the information that I got from the season
Taysom's
start.
second, Trevor Simeon's third, and then Ian Book is fourth. But yeah, that's why he probably didn't play as much, because they actually want to see him as a quarterback. Like, they don't want him to jeopardize, because that's
he
not
still
like
ran
he's
the
your
ball
second
twice,
best
but
option
yeah.
behind Jameis.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna put him out there? In the previous years, you had Teddy Bridgewater, pretty good quarterback. You have Jameis Winston, pretty good quarterback on the bench, and then you have Taysom Hill as another quarterback gimmick guy. That's why now it's depleted. It's something that can set them back. But to stay on the topic, I'm picking the Saints as well. Carolina looked good, but it's the Jets. They played against the Jets.
The Jets.
Let's not kid ourselves here. So yeah, I'm going with the Saints. They played pretty good. They shut down team that made it to the NFC Championship last year. And
Side note, the Packers had the ball 3 times in the first half. The time of possession
real?
was crazy.
wow. And I mean, they didn't even get a first down until like the fourth quarter, I heard. So that is absurd. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Saints, even though I liked what I saw out of Sam Darnold. I'm not as high on the Saints as you guys seem to be.
I'm not either. I'm just hyping up DJ.
I have Alvin Kamara as my running back in this league.
So
And I don't know
added interest.
who the hell Tony Jones Jr. is, but that guy came in and had himself a pretty good game. And I was getting pretty mad because they kept putting him in instead of Kamara to save Kamara. But
Guys, how about Jawan Johnson? That guy is a freak of nature, dude. Spider-Man, might as well, dude. He could catch any ball.
Bro,
It was crazy.
It's
He
impressive.
stretched out for a lot of those catches he got, and it was wild. But let's
Okay.
move on.
shout out Oregon.
Shout out Oregon.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks. All right. Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles got a shocking victory, according to you guys, against
Well, I wouldn't
the
call it.
Atlanta Falcons.
I would call it shocking. The way
was
they
shocked.
dominated the game was shocking. Like, I wouldn't have been mad if the Eagles won, but how they won was surprising to me.
I was trying to tell y'all, you didn't want to listen.
You didn't pick them, did you?
I did pick the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
You're like, oh, that's at least one win we're going to get against us. Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of town.
And then we also have the San Francisco 49ers. They got a win against the Detroit Lions, which came down to the wire. The Lions almost came back. But the Lions are coming up, so don't worry, Hank. You can talk about them boys. But they held off the Lions on a 8-point win, so that was good of them. But they let them come back, so that's another
But
thing.
isn't that your answer right there? The Lions are one of the worst teams in the league, and they almost.
I wouldn't say
came
they're
back.
one of the
We're in a
worst teams.
rebuilding season,
That's
okay?
that's all the more reason why I feel the 49ers are going to go at it in practice and make sure they clean up those mistakes.
Mhm.
The score was 30-10 at halftime. They were dominating them,
Yeah.
but like you guys alluded to, they just kept letting them back into the game. So I think practice have some intensity. Shanahan's going to tighten those screws, and I have the 49ers winning against the Eagles.
I had the 49ers.
I'm flip flopping too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the only reason why I did it. I'm trying to make up some ground. I'm taking the Eagles. I'm putting my faith in Jalen Hurts. You know, he threw for 260 yards, ran for another 60 yards. He looked all right, not bad. Devontae Smith caught a touchdown. Jalen Reagor caught a touchdown. They both got drafted last season. Outside of that, I don't really know who else is going to be catching touchdowns for him outside of Zach Ertz, but I'm going to go with
he
the
stays
Eagles.
on the team for the rest of the season.
Well, they have Dallas Goedert, too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
Who's
saying.
not a
Yeah.
bad tight end. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles just simply off the fact that everybody chose San Fran. You're still locked in at San Fran.
I know. I'm not too sure. I'm like,
So,
I like what the Eagles have. They have a pretty good offense. Defense scares me a little bit.
plus, not to mention, Raheem Mostert out again
Yeah.
all year.
Yeah,
I just picked
well,
up
he's
the
not all
running
year.
back, the
He's not
other
all
running
year.
back.
It's,
Mitchell?
estimated to be
Mitchell?
8 weeks.
No,
That said all year, I thought.
No, 8 weeks.
You say so.
That's what I read. Why'd you have to bring the Raheem Mostert? That's changing my decision.
I mean, he only had
But-
20 rushing yards last game, though, so it's not like he did a whole lot. But
and the replacement had like he
120.
100
He did pretty good. I was trying to pick him up in some of my leagues. Like I think
Picked
I was
him
trying to
up.
replace Raheem Mostert with him.
I picked him.
I was trying to do it last night. And it's like, oh, you
Yeah,
can't drop this
right.
guy because it's still a week. I'm like, okay, whatever, bro.
Yep,
The whole year, or 8 weeks?
whole year.
Okay.
And then his wife comes out and says, "Oh, please stop berating my husband," and blah blah blah.
For what? Because like people are mad about fantasy stuff, or
Yeah, I mean, people are mad. You know, probably 49ers fans are mad too that he can't stay healthy. Dude's 30 years old almost.
But-
Shout out New Smyrna Beach, though. That's where he's from. Heyo,
But
Florida.
they're not mad at Jimmy Garoppolo. That's another story for another day.
yeah,
though.
Trey Lance got a rushing TD, so he did get some playtime, but
He's
Um,
batting 1,000 too, 1 for 1.
for real. Yeah, Chris, you made me change my mind. I'm going Eagles as well. But one bird to another. We have the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Should we
Just-
waste our time or no?
Just
Nah,
Tampa Bay.
it's Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Cool,
let's
cool,
move
cool.
on from
Yeah,
that. Let's
We're,
not-
we're unanimous decision, Tampa Bay. If Atlanta wins, though,
Sorry, Falcons fans.
we're all gonna have to like do some type of challenge.
I'm down.
I mean, either way, whoever loses is a plus for me. So I don't really.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, you don't really care. All right, next we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Arizona Cardinals. Minnesota came back and still lost last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Arizona put it on the Tennessee Titans. I'm gonna go Arizona. That offense looks unstoppable. Like literally, like no one can really mess with them until they get to the NFC West and start playing against their rivals. So
I'm leaning towards the Cardinals, but looking at the stats of the game, the Vikings had a lot of penalties that killed them in that game too. I didn't watch
the
game.
Vikings were like dead in
So-
the water,
Oh, really?
and then the Bengals went like for a fourth down, tried to get it converted for a fourth down, and then literally after that, the momentum of the game changed
Just
all in
went in
favor
there.
to the Vikings, and
Yeah.
then they ended up losing at the end, anyways.
But I think I'm gonna stick with the Cardinals. That's what my gut's telling me, and you know what they say. I always go with that gut feeling. So.
Yeah,
I'm going with Cardinals.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like the Cardinals, man. I like Kyler Murray. I like Hopkins. I like Christian Cook. AJ Green's pretty decent out there too. Plus they got some pretty good running backs. So I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. Hopefully putting Minnesota in an 0-2 hole for the NFC North.
nice.
That's my
Okay.
pick.
All right. We have America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, at the Los Angeles
Allegedly.
Chargers. they get what happened?
Allegedly.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I
so
just gotta say it, you know.
He gets paid to say that.
Yeah. They give me $0 every time I say it. That's cool. The Chargers are having their first game with fans in SoFi Stadium, and from Sunday night we saw that place got packed. It got
Place is
loud.
crazy.
Yeah. Chargers are gonna have the same draw. You guys think yes or no? It's Cowboys. They're putting the Cowboys. They had to bring it. They had to bring out the heat for the first game.
That's one of the reasons I was gonna say, because it's America's team, as you alluded to.
Dude,
So,
all of America's gonna go into SoFi Stadium. That's so crazy.
they'll have a good turnaround, but I don't think it'll be more than the Rams because they're the better team in Los Angeles. For the purpose of this game, the fans will help me coincide with this pick of picking the Chargers. So
Nice. I'm going Chargers as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Both Chargers?
Yeah.
I'm going with Cowboys.
Okay.
Dak Prescott threw for over 400 yards against a defense that just won the Super Bowl and returned all of their players, top 5 defense in the league, probably, whoever you ask. So, oh man,
Dude,
I'm playing sort of ad here, but
you gotta focus.
I gotta focus. I'm focusing in on
I
Dallas.
think that was a sign to let you know, hey, focus your mind somewhere else, because that don't make no sense, my boy.
Son, that don't make no sense.
What are you talking about, dude? I don't know. Dak Prescott, 400 yards is pretty impressive.
Oh,
He
no,
lost,
they did good.
but he nearly won against the reigning Super Bowl champions
was close.
and Tom Brady.
It came down to the wire for that game. It was pretty crazy watching that Thursday night game, Tampa versus Dallas.
Yeah.
But I think Los Angeles is just it's that energy. They're gonna have that energy for
I don't
that
know.
first home game at SoFi with fans. It's gonna be
So,
something else.
Little nugget I just did up. So yeah, 51 pass attempts, over 400 yards. That's like a little over 8 yards.
He's not gonna have that much this week. I'm telling
CeeDee
you that right
Lamb
now.
and Amari Cooper had over 100 yards. If they could get Zeke back to how
That's
Zeke
another thing.
was,
Zeke did not run the ball good at all.
if he could figure it out, or if they could figure it out for him, or whatever, they're gonna be a decent team. They're probably gonna win that division. I
Well,
think, too.
they're talented, but what's the old saying about the Cowboys? What can go wrong will go wrong for the Cowboys. So even though it's early in the season, that doesn't really help equate to the reason I'm picking the Chargers. But I'm
Nice.
still
Okay.
picking them.
Chargers, Cowboys. Next we have the Tennessee Titans at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle put it down on Indianapolis, and Tennessee got put on by the Cardinals. Tennessee looks good, not great. They definitely could not block. Taylor Lewan said I have to up my game and put more reps into block guys like Chandler Jones. And you're not going to be facing a Chandler Jones with the Seattle Seahawks, but still a really good defense. And then you have Russell Wilson on the offensive side with weapons like Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. I mean, they're pretty good. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this game.
Phew. I don't know what the Titans did to piss off the NFL game committee, but Cardinals, Seahawks, Colts, first 3 weeks, got a little bit of a break. They get Jets, Jaguars, but then they got Bills, Chiefs back to back.
That's what happens when you win your division. You got tough opponents.
Yeah,
next year.
I don't know. This is like last week. I picked Tennessee, Arizona as one of my games of the week to watch.
It was good. I mean, the Cardinals literally shined most of the game. That was like the most entertaining part of it. Like DeAndre Hopkins. Insane.
Yeah,
D-Hop.
and I think this is gonna be one of the best games of the week too.
It has potential to be.
But despite all of that, and despite all the weapons that Tennessee does have, I'm going with the Seahawks. Seahawks defense looked pretty good actually. Last week, Russell Wilson always starts off hot, so I'm rolling with the Hawks.
You think he cools down this year? Like the same thing that kind of happened last year?
I don't think he ever really cools down. I just feel like
You gotta play so much more in the defense.
I think
he's doing so much more than even Josh Allen has to do, in my opinion, than Aaron Rodgers. Well, it's comparable. It's Aaron Rodgers, but Patrick Mahomes, I think he's got to do more than all these players. And for a guy that should probably have an MVP and never got any votes, I think he gets the short end of the
I know how
stick.
that feels.
But I'm going Seahawks. Who you guys think?
I'm going Seahawks as well. I just did not like what I saw out of Tennessee last week. Obviously, they revamped their offense by getting him one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and Julio Jones. But it didn't look so good. I mean, the team is only going to go as far as Ryan Tannehill takes them. Like, you can ride Derrick Henry all you want. But at the end of the year, it's going to come down to Ryan Tannehill getting those big playmakers, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, getting them the ball. It's going to be a big factor. And if you couldn't do it against the Arizona Cardinals, you're not going to do it against the Seattle Seahawks.
Copy and paste what you just said and put it on my face. And that's the reason I'm picking the Seahawks.
Tat it up, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all going Seattle here. Next, let's hear from Steve Opilo for the lock of the week.
Hey, I'm Steve Opilo, creator of NFL Game Picker, and here's my lock of the week for 2021, Week 2. I had a conversation with my dad on Monday before the Ravens-Raiders game, and I said to him, KC looks beatable if we can play a perfect game. And while I still think that's true, the hot garbage that showed up on Monday night has absolutely zero chance of playing such a game. Where to even start? Maybe Villanueva doing his best impression of a saloon door at right tackle, or maybe Wink Martindale continuing to put them in cover 0 despite the fact that we only had one of our 3 best corners on the field. Or maybe Greg Roman seeing that Tyson Williams was effective and then deciding to completely starve him of carries for the rest of the game. Maybe my biggest gripe is John Harbaugh deciding that rather than, actually go for the win in regulation, let's just take a knee and play for overtime. Yeah, see, that sorry attitude isn't going to cut it. And whether it's injuries, whether it's lack of talent, whatever it is, this Ravens team is not beating Kansas City. So as much as it pains me wearing this jersey and all, I'm actually going to this game, and I can guarantee you that the Ravens are going to lose.
And that was Steve Opilo from NFL Game Picker.
Steve.
And he picked Kansas City Chiefs as his lock of the week. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens. That is Sunday Night Football, and Ravens did not look good towards the very end of Monday Night Football this past week, but Chiefs came back big time on the Browns. We already talked about that, but yeah, the Ravens. I think you can't really get much better. They had a pretty good performance. They let the Raiders come back, and then that was the case of the game. But I think they put a better performance up. But even then, it's not gonna be enough to beat the Chiefs. So I'm going with Kansas City.
Unfortunately, I'm picking the Chiefs too. Sorry, Ravens flock. But if you would have asked me this prior to all the injuries, I would have for sure picking the Ravens. But Kansas City, you see what they did. You see how they came back against the Browns, and it's almost like they just took a nap the first half. I was like, don't worry about it. We got another half of football. And you need to play your best football, and then the Ravens are down to their 3rd and 4th cornerbacks. So you're already down your top 2 corners going against those type of playmakers.
And running backs.
The running backs look decent. They couldn't close out that last game, and it was unfortunate because they were doing pretty good, and then at the end of the game, it just didn't work out for them. Chris, who you got?
Gotta go Kansas City.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I learned about Kansas City. The scoreboard at Arrowhead Stadium, first in National Football League to do instant replay. Pretty interesting fact.
Nice.
Now, we're trying to learn more about the technical side of things in this schooling. So, but yeah, gotta go KC. Sorry, Ravens. 0-2 hole. Gonna be tough to climb out of that.
Yeah, it's definitely that's gonna be one of those things that in that AFC North division is gonna be tough for them, especially starting out 0-2. But anything can happen. We've seen it years and years. They definitely got to get a win early on in the season just to keep it relevant. But besides that, not good start. And last but not least, we have Monday Night Football. We have the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Packers did not look good. The Packers did not look good against DJ Saints. And then the Lions just almost. So close. Almost came back against the San Francisco 49ers.
Nah, you gotta go Green Bay here. If not, you don't know NFL football.
Okay, so what do you have against?
Huh?
What do you have against
the Lions?
No, their leader, their fearless warrior.
Who? Jared Goff?
No.
Oh, Mr. Kneecap.
Yeah, Mr. I bite your kneecaps.
You mean good old Dan Campbell?
No, but like you said, I mean, it's Green Bay. We're picking Green Bay. I know you picking
In
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay.
Yeah.
Taking Green Bay.
Lambeau Field.
This is probably the only
Home of the
time
Packers.
we'll see Green Bay Packers. I mean, the Detroit Lions on TV this entire season.
Monday night
Besides
game.
Thanksgiving.
I was like, who scheduled this game, man? Who thought this would be a good game to put on TV?
Give them their one Thanksgiving game, like you said, and
Yeah.
we'll be all right with it.
And then they get the nationally televised
Stafford's not
game
there
against the
anymore.
Packers. Goff didn't look so bad.
They're showing us this game to remind us that Detroit's still in the NFL. They didn't revert to college or something. Like, why is this on Monday Night Football? Like, there's literally like 7 other games, 16 other games that are better than this.
Say it with
man.
your chest, then, Chris.
Dan Campbell. Yo, you probably told him, hey, Roger Goodell, I'm gonna bite your kneecap if you don't put me on a Monday night game. And Roger Goodell was like, you know what? All right, week 2. All right.
I like to walk around how it is.
But yeah, Packers are gonna bounce back. Lions are gonna be. They're competitive. They're gonna be a lot more competitive than we really think, and how
I
you're
hope
dragging
the
them in
Lions
the
win.
mud.
Aaron Rodgers. Oh, it's just last week. After last week, just one game. Just one game. Well, you know, Jordan Love, just one player. Just saying.
Oh my god! No. Some
Just
people are
saying.
saying that.
Cold.
Just saying.
Some people are saying that Aaron Rodgers is doing this on purpose to make the Packers GM coach, not coach, but general manager, look bad.
He was making himself
I was
look
about
bad,
to
bro.
say,
Get a
he
haircut,
drew
dog. You're like homeless.
And
Yeah.
then what does that do for him? Does he just hope he's gonna get traded or something?
I don't know. Self sabotage.
Nobody's gonna trade. The Packers aren't gonna trade him. There's
He's
no
going
way.
to San Francisco. After this.
No, they just drafted Trey Lance.
Traded 3 years worth of serviceable players to get him. So.
Yeah, to the Miami Dolphins. But Chris Greer, executive
He can
of
go
the
to
year.
the Dolphins. They need a quarterback.
No, they don't. They got one,
Okay.
baby. He should go to Chicago. That would be a nice fit.
Hey, we got too many overpaid quarterbacks as it is. All right.
All right. Anything else you guys want to wrap up on the week 2 episode of NFL Game Picks? No?
Who that?
Who that?
Gotta work. Gonna miss
There's
most of
nothing
these
to do with NFL
games.
baseball.